Welcome back to Sozen Gadget Reviews. This is my second of a planned three-part series of comparison tests featuring great earbuds. Today, I'm focusing on $29 to $36 small case buds. The next in the series is going to focus on larger case $49 plus buds. This review is going to compare four great buds that all come in at bargain basement prices between $29 and $36. This shootout is going to be start with a quick feature overview that all buds share in common, and then review just a few elements to help us pick a winner. I put links in my description to all the individual reviews that I've done on these buds, so if you want to know more information, you can check those out or check out my website where I keep all my up-to-date stats and rankings as I learn more about the buds. Welcome to Sozen Gadget Reviews, and thanks for watching, and click that subscribe button to help me get more creds with the manufacturers so I can get more stuff to help do reviews and help you choose some good stuff out there. And click that notification bell so you know when I release my next video. Okay everybody, four buds is an epic review for me. Tough to get through, so I'm going to make it quick as best I can. Let's get started and see how they stack up. So here's an overview of the contenders today. All of these contenders are pretty closely spec'd with Bluetooth 5.0. They have smaller cases that fit in the fifth pocket of your jean, non-wireless charging, about 5 to 6 hour battery life, passive noise isolation, full mono mode, and importantly, excellent touch controls that control everything, including volume. Pretty impressive for like 30 bucks, right? Hey, that said, I'm going to quickly point out any additional features that each of the contenders bring to the party, starting with the JLab Go Air, a $29 bud with a unique built-in USB-A charging cable, 3 EQ settings accessible via the multi-function button, and the sleekest case of the group for your fifth pocket of your jeans. Next is the Soundpeats TrueDot. It's also a $29 bud, but these bring aptX audio and CVC8 noise canceling microphones to the party. These promise better video watching and call quality in noisy environments. We'll see how that pans out. Next on our list is a no-name brand bud. I've done a full review on it. It's called the Megivez E20. It costs about $36. I got them on Amazon. They ship really fast. These things are feature packed. In addition to what we talked about, they come with USB-C charging, aptX audio, and CVC8. And that brings us to the last bud on the list, the MPow M30, which costs about 36 bucks. And their only upgraded feature over that list that I said at the beginning is they have a USB-C charging cable. So let's talk about microphone quality. The Soundpeats and the Megivez both feature CVC8 noise cancellation, while the JLab and the MPow have no noise cancellation. So you can decide for yourself which would work best for you in your situation. This is a test of the JLab Go Air with no crowd noise whatsoever. This is a test of the JLab Go Air. This is a test of the JLab Go Air with 70 decibels of crowd noise. This is a test of the Soundpeats TrueDot with no crowd noise. This is a test of the Soundpeats TrueDot with no crowd noise. This is a test of the Soundpeats TrueDot with 70 decibels of crowd noise. This is a test of the Soundpeats TrueDot with 70 decibels of crowd noise. This is a test of the Megivez E20 with no crowd noise. This is a test of the Megivez E20 with 70 decibels of crowd noise. A test with 70 decibels of crowd noise, Megivez E20. This is the test of the MPow M30 with no crowd noise. This is the test of the MPow M30 with 70 decibels of crowd noise. This is a test of the MPow M30 with 70 decibels of crowd noise. Let's talk about sound quality, starting with the JLab Go Air. The JLab Go Air have an 8mm driver, and they have the widest tips of the group. They seem to be really ready for business. They're super light, but take a look at the pictures. They also have the longest neck of all the buds, and because of that, they do tend to stick out the farthest from my ears. And when that happens, the buds wiggle around a lot more as I move. They aren't as stable in my ears as the other buds in this list. Now, it's not a deal breaker. Listening to Get High, Live Life by Platinum Doug from about 1 minute to about 2 minutes and 49 seconds, my impression of the JLab Go Air are that the bass is really tighter, especially it's tighter than the TrueDots. It decays much more quickly. It's a really different sound experience from the TrueDots, but it's also not very loud. It's really enjoyable. And that triple tap of that multifunction button does bring you through their different EQ settings, and it makes you feel really cool. It's like this secret that you and the bud have together no one else knows about. You're gonna like the sound on one of those EQ settings. And once you find a sound that you settle in and like, you're probably gonna wanna stick with it, because you really shouldn't A/B compare these buds with the other buds in this comparison. Like, if you do, you're gonna notice, like on What's Up Danger by Black Caviar, right at the beginning, there's a kind of a clock ticking, and at 50% volume on these buds, you can barely hear that sound. Now, you might not think twice about it if you weren't A/B comparing, which is why I bring it up. But once you do, you're gonna start wondering, am I missing a lot of other sounds that the other buds are bringing to the party than these buds? If you crank the volume up on these, I can easily listen to the JLabs at 100% volume and still be looking for more. In summary, the 8mm drivers in these buds never seem to deliver up to my expectations. The maximum volume is just a little too low for my tastes. That brings us to the Soundpeats TrueDots. Now, I love the Soundpeat buds. I raved about these in my review of them. They have a 7.2mm driver. They're only $29. But in this comparison test, it's pretty apparent that their max volume is really too low. I can also listen to these at 100% volume. But the difference between these and the JLab Go Airs, these are so light, and the neck on these buds is much shorter. They fit into your ears a little bit deeper, and that longer body of the bud rests really nicely on the inside of my ear. It just doesn't move around much at all when I'm wearing them or exercising or even running, and you don't even notice them in your ears. On to sound, and listening to that same Get High, Live Life by Platinum Doug, the bass hits, it's just kind of rumbling, it's really creamy. It's a really different experience than the JLab. I can't help comparing it to like a home audio speaker, like a big speaker with a big bass reflex speaker that's just pumping out a lot of bass at all volume levels. It's not over boosted or anything, but it's also not really very tight by comparison in this group. It doesn't get in the way of the mids or the highs, but it's kind of always there. It lulls you into this groove that you really learn to love. Even at like 50% of the volume, you're gonna hear it all the time. But I don't really listen to volume at 50%. Well, at least not on these. It's just a little bit too low. That said, I'm cranking these up pretty much to 88, 90% almost all the time. The soundstage is really good. There's a little bit less, in my opinion, high frequency than some of the other buds in this group, but I really do like the bud. That brings us to the Megivez E20. Now, this is a bud that I almost didn't include in this shootout. I figured, hey, they're really less popular, they're pretty scarce on Amazon, why should I bother to put these in here? But I can't ignore the feature set, which is coming with this set of buds with the CVC-8, the aptX, the USB-C, the size and quality of the bud as I put it in my ear for 36 bucks. They have only 6mm dynamic drivers. The buds themselves are shaped more like a teardrop. And when you follow my reviews, you'll know that I like the teardrop shape of the MPow M30, the Fire E60, and these Megivez E20. All three of those buds that I mentioned, they all sit really nicely on the structure of your ear, and they don't move a lot in your ear. They don't need to stick in very far with those shallow tips, and even when you're active, they just work. And the shallow tips. Let's talk about those shallow tips, shall we? These tips need to be placed really delicately in your ear. They just don't need to go in very far. And when you do that, if you do push them in too far, it somehow damages the seal and kills the bass. It must have something to do with distorting that really flimsy, I don't want to call it flimsy, but that shallow tip and destroying your seal. So just place them ever so gently into your ear and you're gonna be fine. Now, listening to that same song, Get High, Live Life by Platinum Doug, the bass hits on these and it's gone. It's very tight, it just comes and goes. It's also really apparent at the same 50% volume. These are way louder than the Soundpeats or the JLabs. They have a super lively sound. Bass, mids, and treble are all popping much more than on the other buds. I was actually shocked at the detail that I could hear coming out of these buds. Compared to the JLabs, they give you more of everything. In fact, I cannot listen to these at 100% volume. They are just loud. I'm not saying they're too loud, but if I'm doing A-B comparisons, I've listened to a lot of buds back to back, and it's pretty late at night while I'm doing it. Maybe it's just the time of day, but these are much louder. And that brings us to the MPow M30, a bud that I loved when I first reviewed it, and I was happy to bring it back. They promised right on the box, Bass Plus. So do they deliver? Well, listen, this is a really nice slim bud. It's got wingtips that make it really stable in your ear. It sits super flat in your ear. And I listen to the same song, and the first thing you'll notice, the bass on these hits harder and deeper than any bud in this comparison. Comparison over. Thanks for watching. No, seriously. No, seriously. These things bring the noise. I mean, even at 50% volume, they're just... First of all, they're louder than the Soundpeats or the JLabs. They're not quite as loud as the Megivez, or maybe they are as loud, but these are more focused on bass than the Megivez, so that makes them feel a little bit less loud. Like you can listen to these and just enjoy the bass and still appreciate the mids and the highs. But everything is clear and distinct. The soundstage is really good. It feels like it's bigger than your head, in fact. And I feel like I can discern the soundstage better than some of the other buds in this comparison, although I would say they all do a pretty good job with soundstage in this comparison test. All right, so let's wrap it up. I call them like I see them for the type of music that I like, which is EDM, hip hop, and a mix of like crappy little pop songs. And I don't like to spend more money on things unless I'm getting a lot of value for my money. So these are 4 great buds for not a lot of money. But for my money, the two $29 entries, the JLab and the Soundpeats, they're just missing a few decibels of maximum volume. And that may not matter to everyone, but for me, charge me a little bit more, give me a little bit more volume. I'm going to pay the extra for the MPow M30 or the Megivez E20 over these 2 buds. I want that volume, I want that bass. Now in this group, I put the JLab Go Airs in 4th place. They have some really cool features, and I'm sure that with their EQ and their mic quality, which seem to be very good, they'd be great for some people. But that lack of volume and their fit, for me, keeps them at the bottom of the list. 3rd, I'd put the Soundpeats. It's easily a bud that I would pay $29 for, use it for a long time without ever complaining. I find their sound signature to be really unique in the group, and their fit is super sublime. The controls, they work excellent. It's a lot of bud for the money. But in this group, I'm reaching for some of those other buds when I really want to jam out. Now, I'm not going to be the crazy reviewer to put the Megivez in the top spot, but I am putting them in the 2nd spot. They make a crazy compelling case with the most features, the loudest volume, a really lively sound, great bass, mids, and highs. I don't know how they made this all happen for $36 and then just failed completely at marketing and selling the buds. But anyway, that lack of name brand recognition and my uncertainty around whether they'll be around to support me in the future definitely factors into my decision in putting them in 2nd place. No one would be sorry buying these buds for this price, or even up to, I would say, easily $50 if the company stands behind them, because they are that good. And that leads me to our MPow M30. Damn, these things bring the noise. The bass is so powerful in these. It really makes me want to push that extra rep or go an extra mile on my run, which I'm not afraid to do because they have the best in-test IPX rating. And despite their weaker microphone performance, they still earn my top spot. Okay, folks, that's my wrap of $29 small case buds. Stay tuned for part 3 when I go over $49 and up large case buds featuring the MPow M20, the Soundpeats TrueShifts, and the Amazon Echo buds. I'm really excited to put those 3 buds to the test and bring you the results. So thanks for watching this video and for watching all my videos and for all your comments and feedback. I hope you found this one helpful. And if you did, click that subscribe button so I can start getting more stuff and free stuff from the manufacturers to review. I know you're asking for a lot of different things for me to review. It's time. It's definitely money. But thanks everyone. So Zen out. Stay safe out there.